Texas Congressman Brian Babin and Jim Banks, they both sent a letter to Mayorkas warning that if he does not enforce the rule of law, there will be consequences. Joining me now, Texas Congressman and Border Security Caucus co-chair Brian Babin. Congressman, it's always fantastic to see you, sir. What are we looking at here? Criminal prosecution? What law has Mayorkas broken by not enforcing laws passed by Congress?
Well, he raised his right hand, just exactly the way President Biden did, the way I did. And we swear an oath to the Constitution to uphold the law and to follow and enforce the law. Now, Mayorkas is in the executive branch. I'm in the legislative branch. We pass the laws in the legislature, at least we're supposed to, we're seeing a lot of the bureaucracy, the so-called fourth branch, which is not even mentioned in the Constitution, that tries to pass a lot of laws themselves. But Mayorkas is an executive, and he is supposed to be enforcing the law. He is the head of the Department of Homeland Security. He is the head of the Border Patrol, of ICE, of all the protective enforcement agencies that are supposed to make sure that we're safe and have national security. And yet he has fallen miserably down on the job. He has personally told me and our Border Security Caucus, and for that matter, even under oath, he has told some of our committees that he has operational control over our border. Nothing could be further from the truth. It is laughable. It is laughable. It's such just a blatant lie. And then when we found out there were 53 dead people, or several of them died in the hospital later on, of illegal immigrants who were left to die a miserable, horrible death because of the policies of Joe Biden and Alejandro Mayorkas. And Ms. Jean-Pierre, the press secretary at the White House, blamed she told us that the border was closed, and that's why they had to come in a truck. It was so ludicrous. Unfortunately, the laughability comes to a quick end when you think of 53 poor, miserable people that suffocated and died of exhaustion. Unreal.
Well, Congressman,
the guy will not
it is unreal. We have a government right now that is dedicated to breaking the law, and I think we can all agree to that. In the meantime, Governor Abbott in the great state of Texas declared a border invasion earlier this week on Fox. Now, many are awaiting for direct action relevant to Section 1, or Article 1, Section 10, rather, of the U.S. Constitution, to mobilize Texas law enforcement to prevent illegal immigration. Can Texas do that without congressional approval? And if the GOP takes control of Congress, will they empower the states to stop Joe Biden's lawless behavior at the border?
Well, I think it's going to be, Chris, I'm not an attorney, but I can tell you that I have read the U.S. Constitution. And Article 4, Section 4 of the U.S. Constitution specifically says that the federal government will protect the states from invasion. And this is exactly what's happening. I think I applaud and commend the governor for coming out and making that statement. He didn't quite go as far as saying that declaring an invasion at the border. Not quite yet, but I'm telling you, he's dancing around it, and I'll tell you that the great state of Texas is going to have to stand up for itself and protect Texans and protect our property and protect our southern border, since the federal government under Joe Biden simply will not do the job. The truth is,